here we go. We're jumping right in to talk about how to set up Photoshop and all of the basics that we need. I'll talk about the windows over here on this side and our tools. I'm also going to go back to the home page to start from scratch because this is what you will see when you open Photoshop. If you're looking for the video where I explain specifically Project 1 and how to get started on the process of completing Project 1, then that will be in the other video that I post. So make sure you skip over this one if that's what you're looking for, or watch through. It won't be too long and it's a good refresher. So if we're starting in Photoshop, we're going to open it up. You're going to see this, the picture with the girl in the canoe. You're going up to the left of her to the New File button. The blue button here says New File. We're going to click on that, and we're going to keep everything simple here for our first project, our default Photoshop size, and we're not going to change any of these other settings for now. If at any point your canvas is too big for your photo, we can crop that, and I'll show you how to do that in the other video, like I said. Okay, so let's talk about all of our tools and everything we have here. We're not going to go through every tool specifically yet, but we're going to start with our basics and the ones we need for our landscape project. So to start off, we have over here on the right a lot of different windows. We always have our layers. I think you guys will have this automatically when you open up Photoshop. You should have the automated color, properties, and layers. If you don't have any of these, you can go up to Window and you can find your color, layers, properties, whatever you need open will be checked on. I also have other hidden windows in here that I need a lot. My navigator, talk about that. My brush settings, we'll talk about that in a minute, and my history. Use that one a lot too. So we have these here. We can move them around. If I need my history up here, really close and ready for me, I can go grab that here. I can put it wherever I need it. I can also put these windows into this menu here and have them open all the time if I need them to be open. I have my swatches. I have layers. I have color channels. These allow for different color filters. So if any weird color mixing happens that you didn't mean to, probably turned off one of your channels, so I can look at that for you. And then we have some other things that we don't need right now. So if there's anything that you don't need right now and they're overwhelming you, you can just right click and close the tab so that we don't have all of our options open that we don't need. Okay, so that's this side over here. Let's talk about our layers down at the bottom. We have this layers window open. Our background layer is automatically locked when we open up Photoshop. This indicates that you can't move the background. You can't do anything with it right now. It's trying to get me to unlock it because it's seeing that I'm trying to move it. So if you'd like to move the background, we can unlock it by clicking that lock, and you can move around your background. Behind the background, you see this checkerboard pattern, which means that it's transparent. So we don't want to expose that right now. Maybe if we need that later, we can. But for now, we don't want to move the background. We're just going to leave it right there. If you need a new layer, you can go down to the square with the plus in it. It says create new layer. And we're going to click on that and put another layer on top. You can see in the little thumbnail here that that layer is transparent. The background layer is white. If at any point you delete that background layer by accident, let me delete it. That's not a problem because you can go into your paint bucket tool, make sure your color is white or whatever color you want your background to be, and you could just fill the whole background for your drawing. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. I'm going to go back over here to talk about our layers. If at any point you need to delete a layer, you can either select and hit delete, or you can click and drag and drop it into the trash can. If you need to duplicate a layer, you can do the same motion but into the new layer button, and that will duplicate it, give you an exact copy of anything that's on that layer. Anything else for this side? All right, let's move over to the right here. We have all of our tools, or the left rather. We have all of our tools here. The little arrow indicates that there's more tools hidden underneath that tool. So with the pen tool, we have variations of the pen tool. They group together. With the brush, we have variations of our brushes and our pencil tool that are grouped together. So not every tool that you may need is shown on this toolbar here. If at any point you want to move these around, customize it to you and to the project for what you need, you can go up to edit and edit your toolbar. This little window will pop up. This group means that all of these are hidden underneath the lasso tool. So again, another example, if I have my brush I just showed you, you have our brush that is shown here, and all of these tools are hidden underneath your brush. So if you would like to see the pencil tool, you can bring it out, and you can see that it popped out on the toolbar over there. You can put it back and do whatever you want with your toolbar. Your automatic default settings is having the paint bucket underneath the gradient tool, and that's actually something we use a lot. So I would suggest to grab that paint bucket and kind of take it out on its own so that you have it open. Or you can put it on top of the gradient tool and have it be the one on top so that you can see that one. And then if you need the gradient tool, you can click and hold. Again, rectangle or a shape, if there's a certain shape you use a lot, you can click and drag it and bring it out to the front. All right, great. I think that's it for our editability, I don't know if that's a word, of all of your tools and your windows here. You can customize everything to your liking and based on the project that we are doing. So let's get into our brush because that's something that you guys will need for your landscape. And I just want to intro really quick that it's right here on the side. We have our size for our brush up here. We have lots of pre-made brush textures in here that you can look through. And then we also have more brush properties here, which is the same exact window that I had open earlier right here. So that's just another way of getting to the brush settings window. Again, if this is ever gone and it's closed, you can't find it, go up to window and you can find brush settings. It's right here. So we have our size. See, my brush is white. Here we go. We can see it's bigger here, smaller, very, very small here. You can also type in the number if you want a slightly smaller number and you can't quite get it with the slider, you can type it in. We have our opacity here, so it's always at 100% until we put it down, and then we see that it's transparent a little bit. We can have our opacity any hardness that we want. There's some other settings up here that you can play with, kind of look at the difference between flow, smoothing, things like that. But for now, we can leave those as defaulted all to 100. Color is up here. We can change our colors to anything we want. And then we can also have two color options open at the same time. If you want to go back and forth between two. So I'm going to grab, maybe I'll grab this purple again, purple that's close. And I'll grab my green here. And I can switch between the two. So that's just my little switch button. Sometimes we have that accidentally on white. So if you try and change the color and you don't understand why, it might be because it's switched. So that's that button here. Other things to note, our navigator, I mentioned it earlier, but I didn't have anything on the page then. Now you can see clearly that it zooms you in and out very, very far. You can zoom in and you can grab that little red square and you can move around wherever you need to. So that navigator is very helpful to keep open. I might even suggest putting it right into this window spot here. Maybe not there. I want to put it right up top here so that I have it open all the time because I use it all the time for zooming and for moving. And that, I think, is all I need to share with you guys for getting started. Let's talk about saving really quick. So we're going to go up to File. We're going to Save As. I would highly suggest, naming all of your titles. So as you can see, my landscape example that I have here, I labeled landscape drawing, and then it just saves it every time. So it has a new thumbnail for each version. This is also because I use it on both computers, so you guys won't have as many versions of it if it's the same computer. Please label your drawing, click Save, and then when you go back up to File, Save As a second time, you will see this window that I'm wondering why it won't. Oh, here you go. Save to Cloud Documents. I don't understand.